these sounds come from? Do they come from outside, or are they part of you from inside you?
Outside.
They're from outside.
Who are the people who you hear speaking to you through the transmitter?
A schizophrenic who's complained of hearing voices is being interviewed by psychiatrists.
I don't know who they are, but I know them now.
So you could be sitting somewhere completely on your own with nobody else around you, and you could hear these people talking to you. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
But you say you've got these voices coming through your transmitter. Where do they actually come from?
The two psychiatrists are real doctors. The patient is a Granada reporter, Adam Holloway. He's being taught how to behave like a schizophrenic for a new role in the series Disguises. Carrying a hidden camera, he's about to embark on a remarkable journey, a journey which will examine the care we provide for some of the more vulnerable members of our society.
Is it transmitting things to you now?
Have they ever told you to harm yourself or anything like that?
No.
Right.
Have you ever been in a psychiatric hospital? Can we stop there, actually?
Most people find mental illness both frightening and alien. But the tragic case of Ben Silcock, who believed he could climb unharmed into a lion's cage, produced a wave of sympathy from the public. His bizarre behavior highlighted the lack of care provided for sufferers of schizophrenia, the lack of a place of safety.
As well as learning to behave like a schizophrenic, I'm also having to disguise myself because of the homeless programs I made last year. My hair's pretty brown. How much is this going to change the appearance of it?
Ever such a lot because of the amount that I'm putting in.
Right, now I'm going to change the style because normally I have it sort of back. While making the homeless programs, I left a massive question unanswered. Why are there so many mentally ill people roaming the streets of our cities? Mental hospitals are closing, but what's been put in their place? To find out, I'm going to pose as a schizophrenic on a journey starting from the Midlands, ending in central London, where more than 1 in 100 people suffer from schizophrenia, the illness that can destroy a victim's personality.
The voices may criticise the person concerned or comment on their actions, but more importantly, they may actually give directions as to what the person should do. In some instances, these are fairly trivial things. People may be instructed to stand up and sit down or to take their clothes off and feel obliged to obey. In other instances, the consequences may be more serious. The voices may tell people to harm themselves or even on occasion to harm other people.
But for example, sorry, if you can just move, Margaret. If I was trying to show that I was hearing a voice, rather than looking at you, I would sort of look away and be preoccupied and then look back almost as if I'd been somewhere else for a few seconds.
Schizophrenia results in such a serious disintegration of personality that people tend to lose their jobs and lose their homes and drift down the social scale and gravitate towards major cities.
My journey to London starts out in the country near Worcester. Many young people already with mental health problems fall out with their families, head for the nearest big city and deteriorate further by sleeping rough. I'm on my way to Birmingham. I don't know whether I'll get treatment in my role as a schizophrenic there. Early on, I see a sign for Powick Hospital, a grim Victorian asylum just outside Worcester. Ironically, the closure of Powick and others like it helped swell the army of disturbed people on the streets. The old Victorian lunatic asylum at Powick near Worcester. There were once 1,000 patients here, some staying for nearly 40 years. It closed 5 years ago, part of the trend towards localised care. But how many mentally ill people are failing to get proper care in the community? How many are roaming the streets or living in temporary accommodation that barely begins to meet their needs? Powick Hospital, empty and overgrown, was once the scene of a documentary by Granada Television 25 years ago. Filming took place in this very ward where mentally ill people were stored without modern medication for decades of their lives. The idea was to empty the huge old institutions like Powick and put patients in small concentrations of good housing. The plan was called Care in the Community, but not all the money for this has been provided, and when the Act becomes statutory in April, still more of the seriously ill could become homeless. I've now arrived in Birmingham. Certainly, as in any big city, there are people acting strangely on the streets. Some are clearly homeless. Are they getting medical help? Like this girl. Or this man. Or the man who endlessly plays on a pipe that fails to produce sound. I'm going to pretend I'm having a schizophrenic relapse and need help. I'm taking a random sample of GPs in an inner city area of Birmingham to see if they'll treat me. According to the community care plan for Birmingham,
The GP is the gatekeeper of primary health care, to whom most people turn when they have a health problem.
Can I see the gatekeeper, please?
See who?
The gatekeeper.
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. See?
The gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper?
Yeah, the doctor.
Which doctor are you registered with?
I'm not registered with one.
Ah. In that case, you won't really easily be able to see a doctor.
So where should I go then?
If you haven't got a doctor around here, then you would be best to go to a hospital, wouldn't you?
it may be understandable when the public shy away from the mentally ill, but it should be different in a doctor's surgery. I try another. Perhaps this doctor is a gatekeeper to primary health care.
Hello. Can I see the gatekeeper, please?
See what?
The gatekeeper.
We haven't got a gatekeeper. It's a doctor's surgery. This is there. What number do you want?
Yeah, to see the doctor.
Are you registered with
See the
us?
doctor. I'm living on the streets and I was a bit frightened. Can I
No,
register
we
here?
can't take any more patients. I'm sorry, we're full. So I should try down the surgery, down the health centre down at Midlands Road. Bye. We can't see you here. Bye.
No luck here either. Despite the good intentions of most doctors, I'm falling through the net. I can't register because their lists are full, or because they pretend their lists are full.
I'd like to see the gatekeeper, please.
Gatekeeper.
Yeah, the doctor.
It's Lady Doctor of the City. Are you our patient?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. Where are you living?
On the streets.
You need an address before you... Well, actually, we are full. We haven't got any... our practice is full. But you need an address for any doctors. It doesn't matter where.
Do I? Where should I go then?
Casualty department if there is something urgent. Any casualty department.
The 7 GPs I try all suggest I go to a hospital casualty department. So, still acting the part of a schizophrenic, I arrive at the accident and emergency department of a main Birmingham hospital. I'm going to pretend I'm hearing frightening voices, voices that direct me to go to a hazard-free zone, a place of safety. The act that I'm adopting has been rehearsed with the help of 2 psychiatrists who believe it's authentic. It's doubtful, however, as a schizophrenic, whether I'd be able to voluntarily submit myself first to a GP, then to a hospital. Someone would probably have to help me.
Can I help you?
The gatekeeper's assistant, please.
What's the problem?
I'm hearing voices. I'm a bit frightened.
Do you want to register to see the doctor?
Yes.
What's your address?
No Fixed Abode.
How old are you?
27.
The casualty department of this hospital behave admirably, for within an hour I'm seeing a sympathetic psychiatrist from a teaching hospital who's on duty tonight.
As I say, I'm one of the doctors who works at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. I understand one of the other doctors has been in to see you here now. Is that right? Can you tell me what it is that brought you to the hospital? What's been happening to you?
Feeling a bit frightened.
Okay. What was making you frightened?
I was hearing voices.
Do you know whose voices? Do You recognise them?
Yes, HFZ.
What are HFZ?
HFZ.
What are HFZ? I don't understand.
Hazard-free zone.
Sorry, a what?
Hazard-free zone.
Have you had any thoughts about harming yourself or killing yourself or nothing like that?
I don't know, how can you help me?
In a number of ways. Okay. What I would suggest to you is that you come into hospital at the Queen. It's called the Queen Elizabeth Psychiatric Hospital. Okay. It's in the middle of town in Edgbaston. And the first thing is that they can have some proper food there, right? You can have a proper bed to stay in. Have your clothes cleaned up if you want to do that. Okay. The other thing is it's a safe place to be. Right? What I would suggest is that we perhaps try you with some tablets which will help control your voices a little bit and will make you feel a bit better.
Within an hour, the doctor has taken me to a place of safety, Birmingham's main teaching hospital. It's the weekend. Clearly there's bed space, caring nurses, and concern for homeless schizophrenics in Birmingham tonight. After a brief physical examination, I'm given a bed and 15 milligrams of chlorpromazine, a drug used to quieten schizophrenics' voices. I don't swallow the tablet. There are still spare beds in the room when I sleep. Next morning, a real schizophrenic shouts at her voices in the garden of the hospital. This is Birmingham's newest psychiatric hospital, opened 2 years ago. It's efficient and provides a haven of calm for patients suffering from mental illness. But for the 36 hours I'm here, apart from the physical examination, no doctor comes near me, and I'm given 2 more tablets of chlorpromazine, which I take but don't swallow. Suddenly, on the Monday morning, I'm called to see a doctor and a medical student. The conversation lasts 2 minutes and goes like this.
How are you feeling?
Better, the voices have mostly gone away.
How long have you been hearing voices?
A few weeks.
Have you ever seen a psychiatrist before?
No.
Well, you can leave hospital now.
Yeah, but where shall I go?
Well, we'll give you a list of hostels.
What about medication?
Well, it's better if you don't have any.
Well, what happens if I get ill again then?
We'll try registering with a GP.
Yeah, but I tried that last week. None would take me.
This morning at about 8:30, I was given 15 milligrams of chlorpromazine, a drug used for treating schizophrenics. 2 hours later, I saw a doctor and a medical student and was discharged from the hospital armed with this list containing the names of hostels where I might be able to find help and accommodation this evening. If I needed further medical treatment, then I could use the GP attached to each of these hostels.
So, after all the good intentions, I'm suddenly out on the street again with no medication. The beds are filling up after the weekend. If I had serious mental problems, I'd be in difficulties now. Such pressures on real schizophrenics cause them to deteriorate fast. Small wonder there are so many wandering homeless on the streets. I go back to the city centre and wait. My aftercare programme given to me by the hospital seems to consist only of a list of hostels for the homeless. At night, I start with the first hostel on the list provided by the hospital, Trinity Centre. Many of the people they accommodate here have been released from long-stay hospitals and have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, I was at Queen Elizabeth and they told me to come here.
What's your name?
Ian.
Do you intend to stay then, now, for a while? With us, you know, for a few nights?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, no problem at all, my friend.
Because they just gave me a list of
places where you
3
can
hostels,
go,
yeah. They didn't give me any medication to bring with me. What do I do about that?
Right, same again. First thing tomorrow morning, after you've done a claim and everything else, come back here. When you bring your form back from them, tell them what medication you've been on and what's been going on, etc., etc., and they will sort out some medication for you.
Trinity Centre, next morning, is a hostel that has long and short stay homeless, some with a history of mental health problems. After breakfast, I queue to see if I can get medical attention.
Is that the doctor in there or the nurse?
No.
Hello. I came in last night from Queen Elizabeth.
Okay. Did you hand in some medication?
No,
You didn't?
didn't give me any.
All right, so what, did you want to see a doctor?
Yeah, I suppose so.
What medication do you usually take?
Chlorpromazine.
Right. Okay then. I'll let them know, and I'll tell them to come and tell you when the doctor will be here. Did Queen Elizabeth Hospital not give you any medication when you came out? Okay then. Okay, Ian, well I'll let them know and they'll come and tell you when the doctor will be here. Okay?
Right.
Thank you.
Before I can see the doctor and resume my medication, I've been told I must sort out my benefit claim to pay for the hostel.
Right, Ian. You need to go to the DSS there. UBO office, sorry. Get a B1, right? Fill in the B1 and take that and this letter to Moseley Road. If you want any help with the B1, then bring the B1 back here and we'll help you sort that out and then you can take it over to Moseley Road. Alright? I'll give you that. Alright. Alright, so go to Broad Street and get a B1.
Sorting out benefit claims if you're homeless is a formidable task at the best of times. For a person also suffering from schizophrenia, it can be impossible.
Have you got your national insurance number?
Yes, but I don't know what it is.
Have you got any means of identification? Is that all you've got? Have you got your B1? From your benefit office? What did you say your name was?
Ian.
Ian? Ian what?
Ian.
Ian?
Ian.
N?
Ian.
We've got nothing for Mr. Ian here, nothing at all.
So I don't exist?
That's right. What's your name? I mean, with just that, there's nothing that I can do to trace anything. So if you come back with some means of identification, well then we'll look at it again. Preferably your national insurance number.
But if I don't have that, I'm not anybody.
That's right.
Late afternoon, I return to Trinity to the day centre for tea. I'm due to see the doctor, but now there's a problem.
Yeah, I'm Ian. I was staying here last night.
Sorry, we just didn't recognise you.
Oh, you haven't. You should have gone and made a claim. Have you got your application? Brought your application back? Do you know? Have you been and made a claim?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Well, if you haven't done by 3:30, you're not going to be back in tonight. So I should go and do it now.
It's half 3 now.
Well, I'm afraid you were told this morning if you didn't make a claim today, you couldn't stay here.
Can I go up to the day centre and get some tea?
No. No, not now, because you know, that's it now. Once you haven't made your claim, it's too late. And you were told the situation when you went out this morning.
The hostel were only protecting their interest to cover the cost of the bed. But I'm homeless again. My journey to get treatment is erratic and unpredictable. I didn't sign on, so I don't get to see the doctor. If I was a real schizophrenic, I'd be needing medication by now. I turn to my aftercare plan, given by the hospital. Next on their list of hostels is the YMCA. Can I see a nurse or a doctor here? Is there a room?
Excuse me, Queen Elizabeth Hospital sent me here.
Yeah.
To stay. Is that all right?
Have you got a room booked?
No.
Well, you mean you want a room for tonight?
Yes.
Because I don't think I can do anything for tonight. Are you employed?
No.
No, I can't do anything at all tonight.
And have you got a doctor here?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing I can do tonight.
No places, and no doctors. Next on the hospital's list was Birmingham Salvation Army Hostel.
Queen Elizabeth Hospital sent me here.
I see. Right. Have you just been discharged from the QE?
Yeah, I was there for the weekend.
I see. What have you been admitted to the hospital for?
I was hearing voices.
Hearing voices, yeah. And you were at the QE for that? Yeah. Have you turned up here for accommodation, have you?
Yeah.
I see. Right. Have you ever stopped here before?
No.
You haven't, right. Whereabouts in the city centre were you stopping?
In the rag market.
In the rag market. Well, were you sleeping rough there, were you?
Yeah.
I see. Ian, you see that corridor over there? Right, if you go down that corridor, turn left, there's some seats there. If you take a seat, in half an hour, the duty officer will be along and she'll have a chat with you.
Now, what do you think, Dad? Dr. Sigmund Freud wouldn't have a chance in here.
You needn't pay for tonight. We'll give you a free night tonight, okay? Then we'll sort it out tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
But you would still need to see the social
Okay.
worker. Now, if you're given further accommodation after tonight, after you've seen the social worker, what we will do then is we normally have a community psychiatric nurse that comes in, either Wednesdays or Thursdays. They'll be in on Thursday this week, so we would recommend that you saw them when they came in.
You'd like me to see them? Okay.
I would like you to see them.
It's now next morning. At last in my journey, I'm finding order and care for the mentally ill. I've got an appointment with the Salvation Army's social worker.
Hello. I was sent to see you this morning.
What's your name, sir?
Ian.
Come in.
I mean, at some point, what we might like to do is to have a chat about the possibility of moving to a smaller type group home.
Are they easy to get into?
I know of a lady. We have contacts with different group homes, and if you wanted that sort of accommodation where you'd be with other people. Similar to yourself, and where you could be looked after and have your meals and everything.
We've now proved a point, and I leave. Care in the community can be arranged here. As a wandering schizophrenic, I could have been offered sheltered accommodation with individual care. This is the first time on my journey I felt safe. Next, I try the private sector. On the hospital list was a place called Palm Court. Palm Court, I now discover, is called Mayfield Court. It is in fact a private hotel, run for profit, largely funded by the state. It's a hotel for the mentally ill. I'm about to experience an extraordinary 2 weeks of care in the community in the private sector. Mayfield Court is too bad to be recognised by Birmingham Social Services, yet they condone what happens here because they've nowhere else to put people. As they told us, it may be awful, but it's better than a cardboard box.
Next week, in part 2 of his journey to London as a schizophrenic, Adam Holloway experiences the rock bottom of care in the community, 2 weeks in Mayfield Court, and as a last resort, faces arrest as he tries to get help from the police.
What is your favourite colour, sir?
Red.
Good.
What's yours?
If you need advice with a mental health problem, phone SaneLine on 071 724 8000, the helpline for the charity Sane.